было намного лучше, но на этот раз как-то не удалось. Во-первых, народу мало, музыка не очень.
А что за направление?
А?
Что за направление?
Направление? Какое направление?
Что за направление музыки играет там?
It's about damn time.
Bleach is an anime that, like it or not, has shaped how anime are being made and will always be an important series. That being said, with a new season on the way, is it worth it to sit down and watch it, or rewatch it, in preparation for the new season? Well, that's an excellent question. I'm gonna be as honest and impartial as I can be, so that you can decide for yourself whether or not you should watch Bleach. I think that hyping you up for all the wrong reasons, or being overly critical of something, just defeats the purpose. I'm just gonna lay it out and you choose. I think that I can put out my opinion relatively safely now, because unlike when Bleach and Naruto were coming out, the teens that would rush to take my head at my first attempt to criticize any aspect of them have grown up, and hopefully are less vindictive. The premise is about a delinquent teen that can see ghosts tumbling down the, let's say, afterlife rabbit hole and realizing there are some demon-like monsters as well as guardians that hunt them and protect the living. I'm being intentionally as vague as I can, so you can assume it's way more well thought out than this. Long story short, the protagonist ends up unofficially joining the Guardians' ranks and tries to take some control of his life by becoming stronger. Bleach is an anime renowned for its animation quality. Out of the big three, which were by order of popularity One Piece, Naruto and Bleach, the latter had the strongest animation, and that is quite the feat since Naruto was a beast of animation, most of the time. Bleach on the other hand, always had mind-blowing animation for its time. And that means that even today, 10 years later, the animation holds its ground against multi-million-dollar yen animation projects. And yes, this is from 2010. The animation pairs with the amazingly epic fighting scenes and powers that each character has. Everyone has a different power, and the fights always change. That being said, there's a basic power system that each character builds from. In any case, visually the anime is a masterpiece. There are very few anime out there that manage to consistently put epic fighting scenes like Bleach did. These scenes are not even canon, they are from filler arcs. And that brings us to the next point. There's a 20-minute video by iPatchWolf analyzing the reasons that made Bleach fail, and if I say the word fillers, you just watched half of it. Bleach had fillers. No, scratch that. Bleach had a lot of fillers. Actually, even that doesn't accurately describe the situation. Okay, no spoilers. There's this epic fight in the anime that we have been waiting for something like 2 years? Oh god, it was 3 years. Anyway, and right when the real fight is about to begin, they throw in a filler. Okay, that's not that bad, I hear you thinking, or at least, I guess that's what you thought. They didn't actually throw a filler episode in the middle of one of the biggest fights. They threw in a full-fledged filler arc in the middle of the fight. 35 episodes. 35 episodes. And there was 3 additional filler episodes that had nothing to do with that arc, just to give it some flavor. So you had to wait for 38 weeks to see how that fight would go on. Now I'm actually rethinking Boku no Hero Academia's slow-paced school festival arc. At least Bleach never had a hiatus though. However, now that all the episodes are out, a huge part of Bleach's downside is gone. Filler episode? You skip that shit. Or you don't. They are actually kinda good as side stories. But it's not the same. So you have a trimmed out main story and some side stories on top of the movies as extra optional content. So in my opinion, this bad part did kinda turn good after all these years. This is the weakest part of the series. Up until a certain point, the anime follows a very well-paced and thought-out story. The themes are profound and original-ish, and the story keeps on giving. However, even without the fillers messing everything up, the story does reach a high point early in the series. Obviously the anime still has tons to give, but strictly speaking, after the first few arcs, the story is not as powerful as its competitors. Moment to moment though, it's still very strong. Whatever weight the story brings to the anime as a whole is picked up by the intriguing characters and their individual powers. That being said, there's a reason Bleach was third in popularity among the big three, even though it had amazing aspects. As a creator, you never really know how the audience will react to your opinions. At least I don't. I thought that I wouldn't get burned at the stake for trashing My Hero Academia's school festival arc, but... well, okay, the reaction wasn't that bad, but some people were a bit mad at me. You guys are sweethearts, even when you're pissed at me. But even if by now you're convinced that I'm talking out of my ass about Bleach, I think you have to give me a bit of credit where Bleach soundtrack is involved. I have literally studied it for years in my teens, and I'm pretty sure I only listened to System of a Down, Linkin Park and Bleach soundtrack in my pre-teens. So believe me when I tell you.
It's a masterpiece.
The orchestral arrangement, the vocals, the marriage between electric guitar and classical music. It's amazing! The battle tracks pump you up and fill you with a sense of purpose. The emotional tracks are gut-wrenching and melancholic. The tracks coming up as soon as a plot twist is about to happen keep you at the edge of your seat. If you have even a shred of respect for Shiro Sagisu as a composer, this is his magnum opus. He has done some wonders for other anime, but nothing as consistently brilliant as this. Track after track, he has made some of the best music ever created for any series, anime or otherwise. Without this exact soundtrack, the anime is not complete. As you might have guessed, my conclusion is that Bleach is definitely worth watching, especially since it will be finally concluded. It looks like Shiro Sagisu will return to compose for the new season, but even if he doesn't, there's tons of his work already in the studio's possession. After watching Bleach, you probably won't remember the plot fondly, but you will most likely remember the epic characters and the awesome fighting scenes as some of the best you have ever seen. You should definitely watch it if you are into shonen, and you should consider subbing to my channel if you like this video. So, people who have watched Bleach, did I do a good job, or am I as subjective as I fear? Nah, it's good. I really wanna talk about Gintama, since it's very good but really difficult to get into. There is actually a way to watch it, trust me. So let me know in the comments. If you haven't watched Bleach, did I convince you to watch it, or did I help you to dodge a bullet?